What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, JrTheOota. Today, we finna be reacting to cops have the craziest times of their life. Have the craziest day of their life. Do me a favor, if you're new to my channel, drop a sub, smash the like button, let me know what type of videos you wanna see. Follow my Twitch, JrTheOota0, so y'all can see when I go live every single day. Let's get started, bro.
2024, the Dubuque Police Department in Iowa received a 911 call from a young woman named Christy Fullman. Christy had just found her best friend of 12 years dead inside her home.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I don't know. I'm on Avoca Street. I need someone right now.
Dead
What
inside
street are
her
you on?
home.
Avoca?
Avoca? Okay, what's going on?
After me, my own friend. Oh God, you say she's dead.
You think your best friend is dead?
Oh,
Are you able
that's sad.
to check what the address is?
Oh no.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna get help on the way here.
Oh,
Several units
no.
rushed to Avoca Street, but since Christy was too panicked to think straight, she was unable to go outside to provide the exact address. The dispatcher tried to comfort her and figure out exactly what had happened.
Alright, just take some deep breaths, okay? What's going on?
No, she's full of blood. I need her back.
She's full of blood? Is she breathing at all?
I don't know. I don't want to touch her. She won't answer me. She won't come.
Okay, can you see her chest rising and
Oh
falling at all?
no.
No, I can't look at her.
Okay. It's okay.
Throughout the call, Christy was asked to properly assess the victim's vital signs, but she couldn't muster up the courage to look at her lifeless body again.
Please.
Yep, they're coming. Okay.
Christy eventually
Damn.
calmed down enough to provide the address, and at 8:51 a.m., Officer Brad Hesselbacher was the first to arrive at the scene.
This is sad, bro. All she came to do was meet her friend for some coffee. For me, the door was probably open. She opens the door, goes to her friend's room, see her friend laying there. That is sad. Rest in peace to that girl, bro. Let's see what happens.
Since nobody was answering the door, the officer entered the residence and made himself known.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
While a traumatized Christy hid in the kitchen, the officer entered the bedroom and saw 46-year-old Jennifer Daisy lying on her bed, covered in blood with her mouth slightly open. Upon closer inspection, her head and neck had several deep lacerations. Her ring finger was nearly amputated, hanging on by a small piece of flesh, while her middle finger
That's weird. She didn't answer the door. Nah, she was just scared. She didn't know who was at the door. I ain't gonna lie.
partially chopped off and had been neatly set on the bedside table. The officer called in the criminal
What the fuck? They chopped off her finger? Hold on.
While a traumatized Christy hid in the kitchen, the officer entered the bedroom and saw 46-year-old Jennifer Daisy lying on her bed, covered in blood with her mouth slightly open. Upon closer inspection, her head and neck had several deep lacerations. Her ring finger was nearly amputated, hanging on by a small piece of flesh, while her middle finger was partially chopped off and had been neatly set on the bedside table. The officer called in the Criminal Investigations Division
No.
and escorted Christy outside. He asked her what led up to the discovery of Jennifer's body. She said that she and Jennifer had planned to spend the day together after not seeing each other for the past month. When she arrived at the house that morning, she didn't see Jennifer's car, but Jennifer's son Nick had parked his truck in the driveway. Christy assumed that Nick and Jennifer took her car to pick up some coffee. She decided to let herself into the house, and as she opened the front door, she saw Jennifer's son, 29-year-old Tyler Daisy, standing in the dining room with nothing on. Christy panicked and quickly shut the front door, and moments later, she heard another door close. She assumed that Tyler had gone into his room and it was now safe to enter the home. As she entered the living room, she noticed some sort of hair or fur peeking out from under a blanket on the couch. She lifted the blanket and found Jennifer's dog Echo, unresponsive with a severe injury to his head. Although Jennifer's car was gone and the house was completely silent, Jennifer never left Echo alone, and her purse was sitting on the ottoman in the dining room. Jennifer must have been somewhere in the house. Christy went to her bedroom and knocked on the door, but there was no response. She slowly entered the room, and that's when she discovered Jennifer. After dialing 911, she quickly shut the bedroom door and held it shut until officers arrived. After learning that Tyler was still in the house, Officer Hesselbacher, along with several officers who had just arrived, re-entered the home and went to Tyler's bedroom. He was found lying in a makeshift bed made out of blankets, and he still hadn't gotten dressed.
The first thing I noted was his, but then once we got him onto his feet, he had a blank stare on his face. He was moving slowly, lethargically.
The officers were concerned that he ingested some sort of substance before they arrived, so they dressed him in a Tyvek suit, and investigator Kurt Rosenthal and another officer took him straight to the Mercy One Medical Center. Meanwhile, investigators at the crime scene began gathering evidence. In the bathroom, they found a hatchet with a palm print on it. Based on Jennifer's injuries, the investigators believed that this was the murder weapon. Although the obvious suspect was Tyler, since he seemed to be the only one in the house at the time of the murder.
This nigga didn't even have clothes on. This nigga had on no clothes. He had on no clothes, gang. And the dog was dead on the couch, and the girl was dead in her room. That's fucking ridiculous. No way he didn't do this.
Investigators needed to rule out any other possibilities. They inspected all of the entrances and noted that there were no signs of a forced entry, but there were footprints leading to the side door. The last time it snowed in Dubuque was 5 days earlier, on January 13th. So whoever had left these footprints must have left them there sometime within the last 5 days. When they asked Christy about the side entrance, she said that it was always locked because nobody ever used it. So it was strange that there were footsteps leading up to it. Apparently, Jennifer's daughter Kylie was the only one with keys for that door, but it was unclear if she had even kept them after she moved out in September. The investigators decided to track down Kylie so they could speak with her, and worked to obtain the Ring camera footage from the front and side entrances. They also tried to get in touch with Nick to figure out why he left his truck at his mom's house and to see if he had her car. Meanwhile, Tyler was still at the hospital with investigator Rosenthal, waiting for some test results. Although he had copious amounts of THC in his system, the ER staff all agreed that his vitals were stable and he was cognizant, so he was medically cleared. However, the detectives were waiting for the approval of 2 search warrants. One of them was for Tyler's house, and the other permitted them to collect Tyler's urine and blood. Since it's easier to collect his blood at the hospital, they stayed there while they waited for the second warrant to be granted. That's when things got weird.
At some point, did Mr. Daisy indicate he needed to use the bathroom?
Yeah, that was roughly about 25 minutes after we got to the ER. I knew that we were working on getting a search warrant to collect his urine, so I asked him if he could just hold tight. We had some processing to do. That's when he stated to me, "I'm letting go, the keys are yours." And I urged him to just hold on for a couple minutes. He then leaned back in the sofa that he was seated on, and I could hear him urinating inside the Tyvek suit. I was a little disturbed that a grown man wouldn't hold his urine for a couple minutes, and his answer to that was, "Wars are meant to be fought."
About an hour later, the search warrant was granted, and Tyler indicated that he needed to go to the bathroom again.
I told him, "Hey, you don't have to pee in your suit this time. Staff's going to walk in any minute." Within seconds, staff walks in, and as they walk through the front door, or walk into the door of the room, I hear him urinating in his suit again. I scrambled to try to unzip his suit and asked one of the nurses to bring over a collection cup. By the time that happens, we got just a very small sample.
After this wild series of events, they collected his blood and finally transported him to the Dubuque Law Enforcement Center.
This nigga pissed on himself twice. Chat, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. I think he did that just so they don't get his piss. Like, you know what I mean? Just so they don't have it. He literally pissed on himself 2 times, gang. What type of weird freak shit you on?
About 40 minutes after the last bathroom trip, he told the officers that he needed to go again. So Tyler, Rosenthal, and another officer all gathered in the bathroom.
He felt as though he needed to urinate, but he didn't know if he could and thought it might be a couple seconds. He then stated, "I'm not trying to dick you around." I told him, "Hey, we got time. We'll just sit here. Let me know when you need to go." Within a matter of seconds, he said, "Quantum entanglement, brother," and he started urinating. I was only a step away with the cup. I was able to reach into his stream and got a proper sample.
Although it's easy to find humor in such bizarre behavior, Tyler's family claims that he has a long list of psychotic disorders. Due to these disorders, he wound up in the psych ward several times over the years and occasionally ran into trouble with the law. During Tyler's interview, the detective asked him about his relationship with his mother.
His response was, "It's fine, except for when she's acting sneaky like a witch." He then went on to talk about how his mother was part of a covenant of witches.
Tyler said that she was practicing witchcraft just minutes before Christie showed up at the house, and claimed that her witchcraft caused her injuries. When asked what this witchcraft looked like, he described it as his mom putting evil on him.
I then asked him how he felt about his mother practicing witchcraft. And I think that is when he gets into stating something similar to, "I just gave up. I just don't care. I don't need her to validate me." He then followed that comment up with, "Why would I care what a thinks? You sit around and drink yourself stupid, fuck like animals, and ruin your children's lives. Why would I care what a person like that thinks?"
The detective asked Tyler if he called his mom these names to her face, and Tyler said yes. He was then asked what her response was.
And he said, "She's a witch. You know how witches are. Oh, I'm better than you. I will be your fear. I will be your enemy."
Tyler then asked to end
I'm lost. What the fuck? Like, what?
the interview, and he remained in custody while the investigation continued. He made several more obscure comments following his interview as well. The first was when Rosenthal had left the room, and Tyler was caught talking to himself in the interrogation footage.
What did he say? What were the comments?
He stated, "I would gladly spend an eternity in hell if she could just have a chance at heaven."
He also kept revisiting his claims of witchcraft completely.
What? Nah, yeah, he definitely did it. He definitely did it, bro. If he was this nigga was naked. Chat, when her best friend went in the house, he was naked. Like, he was going through some shit. He was going through some shit and ended up doing that to the girl, bro. To his sister, sadly, and her dog.
Unprompted.
We weren't talking, I wasn't questioning him, and he just stated aloud, "Witchcraft, brother, witchcraft. A lot that is wrong with my life. When people are trying to get in your way when you were just trying to pursue happiness." It was at that time I told him he was being arrested for the murder of his mother. His response was, "It's hard to argue witchcraft in court, isn't it?"
While Tyler was certainly the most
that was
eccentric
his mother. I'm tripping.
person of interest, he wasn't the only strange character in this case. His sister Kylie was working at the Village Inn 1.6 miles away from the crime scene when her grandma called and told her that her mom had been killed. She was told that the police were looking for her, so she got someone to pick her up from work and drive her to Avoca Street, where she met with the crime scene investigators, whose body cams were rolling. Right off the bat, the officers found it strange how antsy she was to enter the home.
There's no one to go inside or...
Also, considering her mom had just died, Kylie seemed much more bubbly than expected.
I didn't know if they left. Nothing special. I guess this work.
What the
Lieutenant
fuck?
Chad
She's
Kramer was
laughing?
tasked with transporting Kylie to the station and interviewing her.
Sorry for bouncing around
It's all
cars.
good.
She's
I'm Chad. What's
laughing.
your name?
Hey, nice to meet
you.
She showed no signs of grief and continued to smile and laugh throughout her
She's smiling and laughing, and her mother just got killed. Girl, what is you smiling and giggling about? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The daughter and the brother and the son, y'all niggas gotta
Entire
be studied,
interaction
bro.
with the police.
Alright, so we'll go in here again. I'll just throw you back.
Y'all gotta be studied.
I'll get it back to you.
Yeah. You want my pepper spray too?
I'll throw it back here.
She's
I know I'm
laughing.
not gonna do anything with it, but
I appreciate that.
Although Kylie knew that her mom had been murdered, for some reason she thought that the cops were looking for her for something unrelated.
was ever cops sent to my house because this?
Yes.
Okay, I was double checking. Clear. I was fighting a domestic case with my mom because she said I slapped her foot.
Okay.
If you're wondering what Kylie is talking about, she was arrested back in September after she moved out of her mom's house. Allegedly, she had gone back to the house and refused to leave, and things escalated until Kylie slapped her mom's foot. Ultimately, nothing came of these charges, but it
Nah,
was
this
clear
is a
that
W mom. This is a W mom, gang. You had cancer or whatever and she cut her hair for you. And you laughing about her getting... Come on, bro.
Kylie and her mother were not on good terms at the time of her death. Kylie arrived at the police station at 11:10 a.m. and was brought straight to the interrogation room.
Anything else on here that I should know about? Like, just phone and... Perfect. Okay.
Well, I don't think I have anything else.
Sounds good. Can I get you a water pop? Anything like...
No, if you do have it.
I'll do a bottle of water. How about
Okay.
that? Yep.
It's entirely
She's
possible
laughing
that
too
Kylie's
much.
upbeat attitude is her way of coping under such life-changing circumstances. However, there are several other ways that her demeanor can be interpreted. Perhaps she was laughing and smiling because she really didn't care about losing her mother. Or maybe she was trying to manipulate the detective into seeing her as a kind and warm person, someone who would never commit such a heinous crime. Other aspects of Kylie's behavior were questionable as well, like the several times that she redirected the conversation away from her mother's death. For example, right before the interview began, she appeared more interested in chatting up Officer Crable than getting answers about what happened to her mom.
That's
Okay, my name's
crazy.
Jared. I'm a...
Were you there when I called about a guy coming to my house?
How long ago?
Not that long ago. There was a guy at my house that I used to work for, or not work
This
for.
bitch keeps laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. Like your mother just like... How can you like... I don't know, bro.
One of my
She got no
customers
reaction.
Actually came to my house professing her love, manic, and the guy that put my tire before that was the one who dropped off.
Not good.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait, while I'm here, could I'm so sorry. I'm all over the word. While I'm here, would I be able to ask about this report after this is done?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Why wasn't Kylie more interested in the details of her mother's death? Was it
Facts.
another coping mechanism, or was there a more insidious reason? If you pay close attention, Kylie's story about her manic stalker could be a sneaky tactic to bolster her alibi.
One of my customers actually came to my house professing her love, manic, and the guy that put my tire before that was the one who dropped off.
If Kylie had a flat tire, it would be very unlikely that she drove across town to her mom's house to kill her. But rather than coming off as defensive by explicitly saying that her car was out of service, she found a way to organically work it into the conversation. However, this was all speculation at this point. The detective needed much more evidence before he could make any bold accusations.
I ain't gonna lie, both of them is guilty.
I was just
Both of them is guilty in their own ways. I ain't gonna lie.
asked with trying to get some more information from you about what's going on today. Again, I'm very sorry for your mother's passing. What time did your grandma call you saying that we were in the ambulance about to get that?
9:59. Exactly.
That's it's not perfect.
Because my grandma, the smallest thing, you have to get there.
Yeah, right.
This statement from Kylie made it seem like this was just another case of grandma overreacting to something small. She downplayed her mother's death like this several times throughout the interview, as if it wasn't a
Crazy.
big deal to her at all.
You were at work, so you're unable to go, is that right?
Yes,
What-
I don't have my car. My car
Oh,
needs to be fixed because
You never car.
with my tires, my all-wheel drive is messed up.
Oh.
Yeah, I love it. Just so much. That's why I'm so calm. Shit always happens.
I'm sorry to hear
Sorry.
that.
In case you missed that, Kylie just referred to her tires being popped and said, That always happens, which is why she's so calm about her mom
She
dying.
said that shit
It's extremely
always
rare for the
happens.
subject of an interrogation
Oh
to
no, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that shit always happens? Like what? Dang, your mom just passed. You talking about that shit always
proactively
happens.
call out their own
I'm
suspicious
flipping
behavior.
out.
Kylie, however, is clearly self-aware that her lack of visible concern is off-putting. So she takes every opportunity to explain herself, regardless of how unusual her logic may be. Another example of this is when she explained to the detective why she wanted to keep working after learning that her mom had been killed.
Ron was like, I was like, well, I can't really be a waitress in arm.
Sure.
And me personally, I don't really feel good. Hence why I'm so calm, kind of. But I was like, what's the point of me leaving? Like, it sounds kind of heartless, but it's not like I can do much now.
Sure.
What the fuck? Her mom, niggas just told her mom died and that's what she said. What's the point of me leaving work? Yeah, bitch, you gotta go.
But
Have you had?
with how they were acting, I thought,
It's important to note that Kylie being nonchalant about her mother's death is not a crime. Her suspicious demeanor is only significant if there is other evidence that directly points to her involvement. Crable did note that as the questioning continued, there were several moments that Kylie wiped away tears as they ran down her face.
And dog name? Echo.
She gave her timeline to the detective, saying that she worked all day on the 17th, and a coworker dropped her off at home at about 11 p.m. She was at home all night and left for work just before 8 a.m. on the 18th. By the time the interview concluded, Nick had arrived at the station. He provided his timeline as well, saying that the night of the 17th, he went over to his mom's house to drop off his truck and take his mom's car. Apparently, he was going to Cedar Rapids the next morning, and his truck's check engine light was on. He went back to his house with the car and was there until about 5:30 a.m. when he hit the road for Cedar Rapids. These timelines from Kylie and Nick wouldn't mean much until the detectives clearly established Jennifer's timeline as well. Eventually, the detectives got their hands on Jennifer's Ring camera footage. They started reviewing the footage from the moment Officer Hesselbacher arrived at the scene at 8:51 a.m. and worked their way backwards. 13 minutes earlier, at 8:38 a.m., Christie was captured arriving at the house before discovering Jennifer's body. The next clip was from the night before, at exactly 10:30 p.m. on the 17th, when Jennifer was captured letting Echo back in the front door after a potty break. This is the last time that Jennifer was captured alive, which meant that she had to have been killed at some point between 10:30 p.m. on the 17th and 8:38 a.m. on the 18th.
Facts.
Going back even further on the Ring camera footage, Nick was captured arriving at his mom's house at 7:45 p.m. He visited for about 20 minutes before swapping vehicles with his mom and driving away with her GMC crossover at about 8:05 p.m. According to the Ring employees who released the footage to the detectives, this was the only footage that was saved on the cloud. No activity was captured by the side door camera that could explain the footprints in the snow. Using other cameras throughout the city, the detectives tracked Nick's movements all the way back to the 2400 block of Jackson Street, where he lives with Kylie. Kylie was seen arriving home from work a few hours later, just before 11 p.m. Jennifer's car was on camera all night, and nobody was seen leaving the house until about 5:35 a.m., when Nick got back in the car. He headed south through town and hopped on the highway going towards Cedar Rapids. They also obtained Kylie's cell phone location data, which reflected her being home all night as well. It appeared that Nick and Kylie were nowhere near their mother's house at the time that she was killed. Both of them were ultimately ruled out as suspects. Since Tyler was the only person in the house that night, the detectives were certain that he was their killer. Kylie, who has an active online presence and thousands of followers on TikTok, updated her audience about her mom's murder. The caption read, "Now we celebrate because that's what she would have done. I'll post more soon. #murder, #FYP. By the end of the month, she was back to posting comedy clips, lip syncs, and dance videos. But she also continued to update her fans about Tyler's case as legal proceedings took place. Her videos caught the attention of several media outlets, and during a news interview, she advocated for reform to Iowa's treatment of mental illness. She said that Tyler sought help for many years, but never received proper treatment.
Damn, that was...
Well, they keep
building jails, and they're so quick to put someone in jail, but as soon as someone asks for help, they just turn them away.
The day he was booked on murder charges in the Dubuque County Jail, he was placed in a holding cell. It was a place he'd been many times before, and the jail staff said the last time he was at the Dubuque County Jail, he begged for more help, but none was available.
I don't want him to be put away behind bars because he's not going to get help. Maybe a mental institution would be the best thing for.
Damn, chat. Damn, I ain't gonna lie. Fuck with how the sister, how she not really like hate. She don't really hate her brother. Like she's just looking to help him. And that's I low key do agree with that. People are quick to put somebody in jail, but not quick to help them when it comes to just help in general. When it comes to their mental shit like that, bro. But that's crazy, bro. This nigga killed his mom.
Throughout 2024, Tyler was in and out of competency hearings as the court tried to determine whether or not he was fit to stand trial. Although Tyler was initially deemed competent, this decision was later reevaluated, and they determined that he was actually incompetent. Tyler found this decision to be laughable.
I'd like to say this is not one flip over the cuckoo's nest, and I will not be going to a mental institution, and I will not be taking drugs. I am who I am, and I am who I choose to be, not what you say I am. Do you understand, sirs and ma'ams? Okay.
Daisy's biggest concern was being forced to take medication, to the point where he shouted at the judge and his lawyers, stating his constitutional rights were being violated.
Ultimately, Tyler got his way. The decision was reversed yet again, and he was deemed competent. His trial began July 17th, 2024, and surprisingly, he wasn't there. In a letter addressed to the judge, he expressed his devotion to God and said that he wouldn't participate in legal proceedings. So, the trial commenced without him. Christie was the first of the state's witnesses to take the stand.
He wasn't
She described
there.
the unhealthy dynamic between Jennifer and Tyler.
The nigga wasn't even there for his own trial?
Sometimes they would laugh and joke, other times he would name call and she would just smile and act like it didn't hurt her feelings.
What kind of words was he calling her?
He would call her, whether he was angry with her or joking around. It was just something he would always say.
After giving a detailed account of the day that she discovered Jennifer's body, she was cross-examined by the defense. They primarily questioned her about who had access to the house other than Tyler. This line of questioning quickly overwhelmed Christie.
Kylie and Jennifer had the keys to the back door.
Yes, when Kylie lived there.
Okay.
I don't know if she ever returned them when she moved out in September.
And you don't know that anybody else had a key to that back door?
No, I have no idea.
On the front door, how was this door secured?
It had a key code, keypad code. I need to stop.
Can we take a break?
Yeah. Do you know who has the code for the keypad?
Me, Jenny, all of our children, probably a few others.
Already, they are planting the seed in the jury's mind that someone else could have access to the house and killed Jennifer before Christie arrived. Lieutenant Crable was called to the stand as well. The state glossed over photos of the crime scene, and when asking him if the footprints near the side door seemed fresh, he said that it was hard to say if anything was fresh, but there were no signs of a forced entry or a disturbance to the door itself. During cross-examination, the defense once again focused primarily on the side entrance.
This porch right here is kind of what you were talking about, where the footprints, where it looked like somebody had been walking, correct?
That's correct.
And you can't definitively say when that happened, correct?
That's right.
This is the footprints that you observed, correct?
That appears consistent with what I observed outside that side door.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you remember the last time that it snowed before this?
That looks like on the 13th, so 5 days prior.
And so these footprints probably would have had to been within the last 5 days, is that correct?
I would say that's hard for me.
You said, man, where the 2K or I missed it? Nah, I haven't been on 2K, bro. I haven't been on 2K, I ain't gonna lie. I have not been on 2K.
But I would suggest it's probable that
after this video,
the concrete would be covered up with the new snow, I would say.
If somebody left these footprints within the 5 days that Jennifer's body was discovered, why didn't the Ring camera capture them? Well, the defense then shifted the focus onto Kylie. They played her interrogation and pointed out her suspiciously gleeful demeanor. They then asked Crable if he determined whether or not Kylie still had keys to her mother's house.
In your investigation, did you ever find out if she had any keys to the house?
I did not.
They then established that Kylie also knew the passcode to her mother's phone.
Were you able to get possible passcodes for Jennifer Daisy's phone?
Kylie provided me 2 potential passcodes for her phone.
Did she give any indication where the account for her mother's Ring doorbell
What
would
they
be?
talking about? Like somebody was murdered, like a girl was murdered, and basically all her kids are like in question right now.
Her mother's cell phone.
The defense was implying that Kylie could have accessed her mother's phone and deactivated the Ring camera before using her keys to sneak in through the side door. The investigators also never checked Kylie's phone to see if she had the Ring app on it as well. The state addressed the defense's theory by saying that the pictures of the footprints submitted as evidence clearly show concrete underneath the footprint. Since the stairs to the door are made of wood, this footprint must have been on the driveway. The state suggested that there was no clear evidence that someone had even approached the stairs, and that's why the Ring camera was never activated. They also defended Kylie by asking Crable his opinion about her demeanor.
In your 9 years as an officer, would you
You in this hair, you gotta be
you would
raised,
be able
baby.
to predict how a certain person would respond to grief or trauma?
No.
So you wouldn't say that the way she reacted is unusual, generally speaking?
No.
On day 2, Tyler wasn't present once again, and the defense
How is this
explained to the
nigga
judge
not
why.
present for his own? How is he not present for his own court case though? I need some hair.
Indicated that he does
This
not want
nigga's
to be
not.
here today.
I never
Then
see
it-
somebody not present for their own case. Nigga, do you wanna go home or not?
It is the Sabbath and it is a religious day for him.
Okay.
I wouldn't come either.
Very good.
As the trial played out, the defense tried to instill reasonable doubt in the jury in a
Shit,
multitude
crazy.
of ways, such as suggesting that the hatchet may not be the murder weapon, and questioning how thorough the police department's investigation was. But they always brought the focus back to Kylie's potential involvement. Investigators testified that they never checked the door for any fingerprints and never asked Kylie if she had the keys. One of the officers even spoke to Gina Schletty, known as the unofficial neighborhood leader, and she said that Jennifer and Kylie had an ongoing dispute because Kylie wouldn't return the keys after moving out. Additionally, no search of Kylie's residence was conducted, and nobody asked Kylie to bring in the clothes she was wearing on the night of the murder. But didn't the state have video evidence that
I got a G2C today, ready to put it in pain. Nah, let me find out. I'm gonna take that shit. How you been though? I've been good, bro. Blessed,
Kylie didn't
we
leave
good.
her house that night? It turns out that Kylie and Nick's house has a back entrance that was out of view from the traffic light camera, so it was entirely possible that she had snuck out of the house. The investigators also didn't confirm if Nick had actually made it to Cedar Rapids, and they didn't investigate the possibility of him turning around after leaving Dubuque. After a 3-day trial, the jury was sent to deliberate, and just a few hours later, they returned with a verdict.
As to count 1 on the charge of murder in the first degree, we, the jury, find the defendant, Tyler Daisy, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree. As to count 2 on the charge of animal abuse, we, the jury, find the defendant, Tyler Daisy, guilty of the crime of animal abuse.
Tyler remained in jail until his sentencing hearing on September
nigga
4th,
got
2024, when he finally decided to show up in court. Several members of the
He
Daisy
showed
family
up?
gave their impact statements, including Susan Daisy, Tyler's grandmother, who forgave her grandson despite the unbearable grief of losing her daughter.
Tyler, I'm gonna try to protect you. You didn't think you were loved, and you didn't think you were wanted.
Damn.
Your mother wanted you, and she loved you very, very much. Did she make mistakes at the mom? You bet. We all do. But I'm going to ask you to go to jail or prison with this. I forgive you every day of my life. I love you, but I'm mad.
The rest of the family followed
Damn.
suit, telling Tyler that he was loved, but still holding him accountable for his actions.
You need to learn to take responsibility for what you did to your mom. I will always love you and remember the person I once knew, but I don't know you anymore. I hope that you will get the help you need, whether it be in a hospital or prison, but you are better out of society. Everyone will be safer without you.
Tyler, I want you to hurt as much as I do. Not in a malicious way, but in a way that echoes the profound emptiness left by the absence of my sister. You are unwell, desperately in need of care and treatment. Our current system has failed you, and it is
this nigga has earbuds in though. He has like ear shit in. Like he's probably ignoring them, chat. He's dead ass ignoring them. This nigga has like ear shit in his ears. He got like that ear thing where it covers out the noise, bro. It's not AirPods, but it's like a little shit that covers out the noise. Nah.
failure that we must rectify. The world is a dimmer place without Jenny's life. She will forever be 46. Vibrant soul,
Yeah,
silenced
earplugs.
far too soon.
Earplugs.
She was a remarkable woman, and her legacy will live on.
The last person to give their impact statement was none other than Kylie, who scolded her brother for his monstrous actions that ruined her family.
Tyler, it's so sad how loved you were. And to see how you are now. This isn't what I used to remember at all. And I know it hurts you. And if it doesn't, that's so sad. I'm sorry that you're that far gone. Seriously. How does it feel to lose your whole family? You feel okay still? Because that's not okay. I have one person left. You're messed up.
Tyler clearly didn't take his sister's statement seriously. He began laughing at her and snapping back with remarks of his own, even accusing her of conspiring to kill their mother.
You can think you have God, but that's not a real God at all. I don't know what you have going on.
He laughed at her?
Okay.
Their false witness. You killed mother.
Okay. Look at you. This is sad.
You and Christy and Katie, conspiracy to commit murder.
Okay.
Mr. Daisy, let her speak. Let her finish.
Oh, nah,
I hope you enjoy life in
He's
prison.
laughing.
I can live forever. I have God. Where is your God?
glad you're
Ma'am,
getting
finish what you want to say.
I enjoy that.
Oh, nah.
At least you have some type of feeling.
Read the Bible.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
You're making a show of mother's death. Huh? How does that make you feel wearing that skirt?
After the courtroom drama was over, the judge handed down Tyler's
He's fried.
For count one.
Bro is fried. He's talking about I have God. What type of God you got,
On
gang?
the offense of murder in the first degree, I sentence you to a term in prison for the rest of your life with no opportunity for parole.
Tyler Daisy is currently serving his sentence at
Stupid
the
ass
Iowa
nigga,
State
man.
Penitentiary in Fort Madison, where he will remain for the rest of his life. Kylie has made several TikToks maintaining her innocence and addressing hate comments from people familiar with the case.
Sheesh. Rest in peace to her. I ain't gonna lie. Tyler, you a sick nigga, gang. Tyler, you was a sick nigga. Nigga gonna kill his mom and then accuse his sister of killing her. Come on, gang. But YouTube, if you like this video, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Sub up. Let me know what type of videos you want to see. It's your boy JrTheOota, man. I'm out here, deuces.